Hey, brothers and sisters, to the ones that are listening. All right, I kept warning y'all that the BAW is not on our side. All right, I kept warning y'all that if you can get a passport and you go to the Hispanics, go to the Caucasians, go to anybody but them, because you don't know what they're bringing to you. And they'll do anything that they want and still blame us, the Afro man, for their choices. Time's out for that. You got a situation coming up on Facebook about a popular DJ, a Caucasian man by the name of DJ Kid. All right. Now, what is on the record in my research, what is on the record is for years, this guy has been guilty of all kinds of serious crimes involving prostitution, underage prostitution, all the rest of that. And for some reason in South Carolina, the police just let him go. Now, he does have a record. I don't think he ever did jail time, according to the sources that I've read. But we have was going around Facebook. One of these things can be proven for sure, and the other one, because it's a medical situation, you just don't know. But given his heinous crimes, there might be some truth to it. All right. So you got the BAW riding the D-Carousel of DJ Kid. And now these women are possible health risk in South Carolina. You have 600 more BAW that may be at risk or be at HIV risk. But here's the problem, brothers. You can't know. You won't know who they are. But this dude's been getting around and hitting up a whole bunch of these BAWs in South Carolina. And it was said in some of the complaints about him, I'll show you one, that this dude has HIV. There's no way to know that for sure unless he comes out and say it himself. And two, or unless he goes in and there's just really, there's a way to know, but it's really difficult at this time to nail it down. All right. But I'm going to take it for this that people in South Carolina know more about this than we do and the people in the regular media, because the media does not do any real news anymore. Right? So basically, what we have here is a very high risk for a large radius in South Carolina. I mean, miles and miles around. Because there's 600 black women, only black women that he's been sleeping with. Well, he advertises it on Facebook. So that we can kind of verify. Yes, he's been running through these black women on his D-Carousel. They've been on the carousel. All right. But his criminal record is kind of scary too, in that, well, they just let stuff slide. All right. So let's break into this. But first, let me greet everybody. Horton Hardu Gudag, Ola Oi to the Bang, Vasas Los, Bonjour, Mes Amis, Keto Bawani Konnichiwa, Ni Hao Ni Ama, Sani Bonani, John Paul Baragani, Assalamu Alaikum and Shalom. All right. So let's start breaking this down. But before I go there, y'all already know what to do on those that's watching from YouTube. But to donate, my PayPal me and the Cash App link will be in the description box, along with the link to part of the story, which will also be in the description box. If you want to know information about on what he's been doing and how many he's been getting with, you can check his Facebook account. Now, let me make this note right now before we get back into the video, that on his Facebook account, a lot of these pictures that you will see that's a little more racy, those are taken with his phone. So those are uploads from his phone. So he's been getting busy in hotel rooms all over South Carolina. And these women, these B-Fems, the BAWs have been jumping on that carousel like nobody's business. All right, so let's move on. This is part of the report. A well-known Florence, South Carolina, WPDE, all right, well-known Florence man charged with human trafficking earlier this year may have possible victims further back than deputies are currently investigating, according to records handed over to ABC 15. In other words, this dude been at it since like 2009. Jason Roger Pope, 42, popularly known as DJ Kid, was charged with 3 counts of trafficking in persons, 3 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, second-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor, promoting prostitution of a minor, and kidnapping back on August 29th. And you cannot stop the love that these black women have for this man. That's not in there, that last part. But I'm just saying, you just can't stop the love. And you know that a lot of people in the streets are well aware of his record. But that's part of what makes him so popular to these women. This is why we got to leave them alone. All right, now we have to leave them alone because they are that much of a risk to us. And you still got the simps that's going to cape for them because they don't care what the evidence is. And furthermore, they don't want to learn. They don't care about learning. They don't want to learn. They don't care about learning. All right. So all this is going on, and he's getting kudos from the simps and the black women. Why? Because, well, when a BAW want to throw it at you, you just take what's thrown at you. And it's being thrown at them. For what? Some tickets? All right. So let's move on. All right. So a background check shows that his record at SLED actually starting in 1995. All right. With a conviction of impersonating a police officer. 96, promoting prostitution with a minor, and was sentenced to jail time, but the time was suspended. He was convicted of other myriad of charges. He was convicted of cruelty to children. Now, when you he served some time in jail. Ooh, so he's real popular. A thug that has served some time in jail, that was cruel to children, promoting prostitution. All right, and they let this man go from a lot of crap, right? But I want you to understand something. This dude got a bunch of pictures of the BAW with their children, taking pictures with him, and one of his things was cruelty to children. He was convicted of that. Understand this. And not only that, he's around their children taking pictures, and then he's with the mama late at night, getting busy in the bed. All right. So this woman, Tasha Sinclair, and it could be Tashi, but I'm going to go with Tasha because that sounds like what her name would be. with the fake eyelashes and hair. All right. We've literally been targeted. All right. This is what she's saying. And I disagree with her. The black community, I disagree with that statement too. And everyone is laughing. I agree with that statement. All right. Let me explain my disagreements right off the bat. When she says we, she means to include the entire community, but it does not include the good, hardworking Afro men who's been trying to get get with the black women in their youth, but the black women blew them off like they're nobody. So now we're on our own island per se, even though we still live in the same community, but that community is not our community. That community is solely a bunch of single BFEMs and BAWs raising their children to be the joke. And everybody is laughing because the BFEM brought this on themselves when they decided to throw away good men thinking they didn't need them. They wanted to run the community and run the men. And now they ran the black women and all their daughters straight into this Caucasian man. But there's a reason for them running into him. And everybody is laughing, to include the good men that you toss to the curb. Because now that you're going through these judgments and punishment, we are supposed to leave you alone. Okay, she goes on to say he slept with over 600 black females knowing he's positive for AIDS. Now that may or may not be true. At this point, that's the one thing that is hard to find. It was hard for me to nail down. We do know by looking at his Facebook page that the 600 black females in the time span of being up in South Carolina, yeah, totally possible. All right. And if you count the many of them that's been in his hotel 2 at a time and also on his Facebook page, then you got what's been going on. And I hate to see what his videos are, what videos he has up. All right. So these BAWs have been throwing it at him. And now they want to complain that, well, wait a minute. They said that the Caucasian man is way better than the Afro man. And more they are finding out that they are treated worse. And it's a lot worse than you think, but just think, they can't open their mouths is because their pride has said that they're going to look like a fool. Ooh, not a fool, a damn fool. They're going to look like a damn fool because they talk bad about the good Afro man because they wanted to try to change Pookie with their coochie. But no, that didn't work out too well for them. All right. And so in order to try to punish the Afro man, and let's call it what it is, they said, you know what? Because we have this thing, we can part our feet to anybody we want. And so we're going to do it to your adversary. And that's what they did. Not understanding that the Caucasian man is not our adversary. He is the BAW's adversary. All right? Period. Because the Afro man are learning not to have much to do with him in that way. We understand we can't trust him because of his adversarial treatment of us in the past. So we've learned. We have that one eye open, right? However, it's the BFEM that's been giving him all they got. And he's giving them all he got, right? So she goes, having coitus exchange for money, tickets, or drugs, and everyone's joking like it's funny. It is funny. All right? It's funny because that's who you like. And when you don't care, then nobody else cares. Period. And whether you care about it now, you only care about it now because he has HIV, maybe. But he does have a criminal record that goes all the way back to at least 1995. But that don't bother any black women. especially when it involves cruelty to children. Don't bother black women. Oh, because they're the peas in the same pod. Okay? She goes, he slept with over 600 black females. Think about it. More than likely, their sexual activities with other as well. That's 1,200, right? No, you can probably triple or quadruple that. And it just keep growing. Also, sex trafficking. Get these young girls to come along to the hotel rooms and remote areas to get tickets and prizes just to have sex and send them off to some other state, country as slaves. No one is going to understand until it's their family members, friend, peers, or yourself. But LOL, it's a joke. But see, therein lies the joke. The joke is that the very Afro men that could have prohibited this, the so-called black woman despises. She don't want to listen to. She don't want to follow. She don't want his lead. She thinks she is the lead, right? And so she is being punished for this. Now, the other thing, all this stuff that people can't figure out, the Simps, the Triple S crew, the B films, BAWs, right? Is how is it that all these black women can have HIV, but it's not really coming after the Afro men? Because you don't mess with the Afro men that work and stuff. And those are most of the Afro male population. Again, I will say this, 59.7%, that's if you round to the nearest 5, that's 60% of black women have multiple children with multiple babies' daddies. Okay, but we didn't know who the multiple babies' daddies was till another study came out and said 61% of dudes 61% of the men that have multiple children with multiple babies' mothers are dudes coming out of jail. 61%. Hold on. You know what they chalk up the rest to? Men that have more than one marriage. In other words, they had children from one marriage, then they found another wife, had children from that marriage, and so the single BAW is sleeping with scrubs. And now she has become a scrub. And now nobody can trust even getting with a black female in many of the most populated Afro areas if you are a man with means, because they're too much of a risk. Now all this starts to make sense, how black women can be 13% of the female population. You see that female population, but consist of more HIV infections than all other women combined, and almost doubled. Yeah, it's not a joke, but the black woman has become the joke. Only now is everybody starting to understand. But before then, nope. Nobody wanted to hear from the Afro man. Period. Nobody. So now, why is this happening? Ezekiel lets us know. The Most High said to the black woman, he's going to show her who she is. No, he is going to show everybody else who the black woman is. And that's the joke. I shall tear off your veils and shall deliver my people out of your hand. That would be us, the Afro man. They shall no longer be as prey in your hand. Now we're afraid of you because you've done so much foolishness and wickedness, and you're getting all the punishments that everybody have to give to you, that now we are afraid to come near you. I don't care how bad you are in South Carolina or Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to be afraid to talk to you. Because I know you lie consistently, but I don't know what you're going to give me. Whether it's trouble or I don't know what you're going to take from me, whether it's my resources, because you steal like oh, you just steal so bad. And so now guys are waking up and saying, we got to totally leave you alone. And you shall know that I am Yahweh. Because with falsehoods, you have made the heart of the righteous sad. That's the good men. You have made them sad because now we got to leave you alone. We had to watch you take our children through the court system, kidnapping. We had to watch you take our income through the family court system, extortion. Because you would rather be a prostitute that's collecting money from having that sex that one time that created the child. So now you're going to get paid for the next 18 years. You would rather be that than a wife, right? So because of with falsehood, you have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad, and you have strengthened the hands of the wrong, so that he does not turn from his evil way to keep him alive. In other words, instead of not messing with thugs until they change to be good men, you told the good men they need to be more like the thugs. All right. And so you said the ones that do wrong, you don't have to change your ways. Matter of fact, when stuff get hard for you, we'll be your backbone. This is why you like to say you're the backbone of the community, because the only thing that consists of the community you're trying to build are criminals and your criminal wicked heart as a BAW, Black American woman. Period. So this is what the Most High is saying. So since you strengthened the hands of the thugs, you gave them a place to stay. You gave them a place of refuge. You gave them food. You gave them your money that you took from the good man through the child support system. So you took the money from the good man, and then you're using it to take care of the thug's children and the thug. And if you need more, then you take the good man back to court to get more money to take care of the thug's children and the thug. But you won't let the good man see his child, but you'll let the thug raise a good man's seed. Oh yeah. Therefore, Ezekiel 13:23, you shall no longer see false vision or practice divination, and I shall deliver my people out of your hands, for I am Yahweh. Right? And this is what he's doing. Now, everybody is afraid to sleep with many of these black women in South Carolina, and dudes are running for the hills. The Lord has delivered us from her hand. Now we don't have the desire to be with such a wicked woman. And for this, we can thank Mr. DJ Kid. For thus says Master Yahweh, see, I am giving you into the hands of those whom you hate, and into the hands from whom you're being turned in disgust. That's the Caucasian. That's their children. Children are our oppressor, they which lead thee, the women. Um, um, you know, that, oh my people, children are your oppressors. Women rule over them. They which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy path, right? Guess what? The reason why they are destructive, because they understand they mama, well, from the hands of those whom you hate. You can't say you love children and the first thing you rip from them is their dad. And they shall deal with you in hatred. They shall take away all you have worked for, and they shall leave you naked and bare. And the nakedness of your whoring shall be uncovered, and the wickedness of your whorings. All right. I do this because of your whoring after the nations. You have been defiled by their idols. That's what's happening to the black woman currently. All right. So all this is put on display. This man was screwing all these women in his hotel rooms and putting them on display. And so now he's gotten all the dudes like, okay, if you see a dark black woman in South Carolina, leave her alone because she's wicked and she didn't want you in the first place. And now she's going to be gunning for you. Everybody is going to be afraid of these women now, maybe except the thugs. But they can have the thugs because they're going to drown in that cesspool together. The thugs and the BAW, right? And people just tired, all right? And there has been no shame. No shame for the BAW. Okay, fine. No shame, no problem. All right. So the brothers was like, hey, you want Caucasian man? You can have him. And we're thanking him. Brothers, this is how bad it's gotten. It's gotten so bad that brothers would thank DJ Kid for exposing the black woman for who she truly is to us. Somebody that despises good. And now, when it comes to the end, right? It's kind of over for them. It's kind of over for them as we look at it. But we see the treasonous nature of the BAW. We see it on display. We see how everybody was clapping for this when Serena got married to him, when Eve did what she did, when Venus did what she did. Just everybody, right? All them dark women that threw away the good. We're like, okay. And now everybody is looking at the black woman in disgust. But then when you think about it in the most genius way, that judgment is being passed down by Yah, and who nobody could see that it would have been done in this way. At the end of the day, they have always shown themselves to betray the good Afro man. All right. And so now the Most High is done. Oh, yeah, stick a fork in him. He is done. And they are through. All right. No one wants to be bothered with them anymore. And so you got this, the no depolicing zone, right? You got these women that are now in a situation where any black woman might be bad news for the Afro man. Period. Any. Because you don't know which one of these black women were one of these that went sleeping around with this guy. And it doesn't matter that whether he had HIV or not. The fact that he was trafficking children and these women still got with him, a bunch of them, like around 600 in one city. The fact that they would spread out at other, no, don't want any. Don't want any kind of corrupt woman like that would accept a man solely because of the color of his skin while rejecting the one that looks like him. Well, yeah, because of the color of his skin. Right? The brother never had a problem with the black woman being with the white man until the white man and the black woman had a problem with the brother being with the Caucasian woman. All right. Now we're telling both of them they could kiss our happy black behinds. All right. We out. All right. What do they have to say for themselves? Only God knows, but God's judging. With that said, I'm out.